The conference room is suffocating. 20 pairs of eyes watch as Maya Sterling stands at the head of the table, her hands trembling despite her best efforts to appear composed. You cost this company $3 million. Her boss's voice cuts through the silence like a blade. 3 million. Maya's throat tightens. Mr. Chin, if you'd just let me explain. Explain? He laughs, cold and cruel. The client walked. The deal is dead. And it's all because you couldn't keep your emotions in check during the pitch. The room feels smaller now. Someone coughs. Another person looks away. Maya's chest constricts as shame floods through her veins. I'm sorry, You're fired. Effective immediately. The words hang in the air like a death sentence. Security will escort you out. And Maya? Mr. Chen's smile is venomous. Good luck finding work in this industry. I'll make sure everyone knows what you did. Maya's vision blurs. This can't be happening. Not here. Not in front of everyone. The door opens. But it's not security. A man steps inside. Tall. Commanding. Dressed in a black suit that costs more than Maya's yearly salary. His presence changes the air itself. Makes it heavier, electric, dangerous. His dark eyes find Maya across the room. You're finished here, he says, his accent subtle but unmistakably Korean. His voice is silk over steel. Come with me. Mr. Chin pales. Who the hell? The man's gaze shifts to him for just a moment. That's all it takes. Mr. Chen's words die in his throat. She belongs to me now, the stranger says, extending his hand toward Maya. And no one humiliates what's mine. Welcome to Forbidden Empire, where power meets passion, and humiliation transforms into protection. This is where dark mafia romance comes alive, where broken heroines meet alpha bosses who claim them, protect them, and change their worlds forever. If you crave cinematic storytelling filled with tension, forbidden love, and powerful men who stop at nothing to protect the women they desire, you're in the right place. Hit that subscribe button. Turn on notifications. Because once you enter the Forbidden Empire, there's no going back. Now let's dive into Maya's story, a story of public shame, unexpected salvation, and a Korean mafia boss who won't take no for an answer. 3 hours earlier, Maya had woken up that morning believing today would change her life. And she was right. Just not in the way she'd imagined. The Sterling Consulting Group offices gleamed with corporate perfection. Glass walls. Marble floors. The illusion of transparency in a world built on secrets. Maya adjusted her blazer for the 100th time as she rode the elevator to the 15th floor. In her bag, the presentation she'd worked on for 3 months. The pitch that would make her career. The deal that would prove she belonged here. Her reflection stared back at her from the polished elevator doors. 28 years old. Dark hair pulled into a severe bun. Brown eyes that still held hope, despite everything this city had tried to take from her. You've got this, she whispered to herself. The elevator doors opened. She didn't know she was walking toward the end of everything. The conference room overlooked downtown Seoul through floor-to-ceiling windows. Maya's hands were steady as she connected her laptop to the projector. She'd practiced this presentation so many times, she could recite it in her sleep. Mr. Chin entered first, followed by the client. Mr. Park, CEO of Park Industries, one of the largest manufacturing conglomerates in Asia. Landing this account would be career-defining. Miss Sterling, Mr. Chin said, his tone already dismissive. You have 20 minutes. Maya launched into her presentation. Market analysis. Growth projections. Risk mitigation strategies. Every slide was perfect. Every word was rehearsed. But she could feel it. The way Mr. Park's eyes glazed over. The way he checked his phone. The way the energy in the room slowly died. 15 minutes in, her voice faltered. Just for a second. Mr. Park stood up. This is a waste of my time, he said, his English clipped and precise. Your analysis is surface level at best. You clearly don't understand the Asian market dynamics. Sterling Consulting was recommended to me as the best. This. He gestured at the screen with disgust. This is amateur hour. Maya's stomach dropped. Mr. Park, if you'll just. We're done here. He grabbed his briefcase and walked out. The door slammed shut. The silence that followed was deafening. Maya stood frozen at the front of the room. Her mind raced, trying to understand what had just happened. The presentation had been solid. She knew it had been solid. Mr. Chen's face was red with rage. Do you have any idea what you've just done? I don't understand. The presentation was exactly what we discussed. You approved every slide. The presentation was garbage. His voice rose to a shout. You had one job, Maya. One job. And you failed spectacularly. That's not fair. You know the research was thorough? Fair? Mr. Chin laughed bitterly. You want to talk about fair? That account was worth $3 million in annual revenue. $3 million that just walked out that door because you couldn't close. Maya's voice shook. I did everything you asked me to do. Clearly it wasn't enough. Other employees had gathered outside the glass walls now, watching the spectacle. Maya could see their faces. Some sympathetic. Most just curious. Hungry for drama. Her humiliation was their entertainment. Mr. Chin circled her like a predator. You know what I think? I think you sabotaged this on purpose. Maya's head snapped up. What? No. I would never. You've been gunning for the senior analyst position. Everyone knows it. Maybe you figured if the company took a hit under my watch, you'd have leverage to push me out. The accusation was so absurd, Maya almost laughed. Almost. That's insane. Why would I destroy my own work? I don't know, Maya. Why don't you tell me? Mr. Chin leaned against the table, his expression cold. What I do know is that Park Industries was a sure thing until you got your hands on it. Convenient, wouldn't you say? Her hands clenched into fists. You approved every aspect of that pitch. If it failed, that's on both of us. Wrong thing to say. Mr. Chen's eyes narrowed. On both of us? You arrogant little... He caught himself, remembering the audience beyond the glass. When he spoke again, his voice was deadly calm. You're fired. The words punched through Maya's chest. What? You heard me. Effective immediately. Security will escort you out. Maya's legs felt weak. You can't do this. I have a contract. Which includes a clause about gross negligence. Losing a $3 million account qualifies. Mr. Chin pulled out his phone. I'm calling security now. And Maya? His smile was cruel. Good luck finding work in this industry. I'll make sure everyone knows what you did. Maya didn't remember packing her desk. Didn't remember the security guard's hand on her elbow, guiding her toward the elevator. Didn't remember the stares of her former colleagues as she was paraded through the office like a criminal. She only remembered the shame. Hot and suffocating. Crawling up her throat like bile. This isn't happening. This can't be happening. But it was. The elevator ride down felt endless. The security guard, Marcus, she'd seen him 1,000 times, had always smiled and said hello. Wouldn't meet her eyes now. I'm sorry about this, Miss Sterling, he mumbled. Maya nodded, not trusting herself to speak. If she opened her mouth, she might scream. Or cry. Or both. The lobby was full of people. Clients. Visitors. Other employees from different companies in the building. They all saw her. The disgraced consultant being escorted out by security. The walk of shame feels longer when everyone is watching. Maya kept her head high, even as her world crumbled around her. Pride was all she had left. Marcus held the door open. Can I call you a cab? No. Thank you. The door closed behind her. The summer heat hit her like a wall. She was alone on the sidewalk. Unemployed. Humiliated. Destroyed. Her phone buzzed. A text from her roommate, Jessica. How'd the pitch go? Maya's hands shook as she typed back. Call you later. She couldn't face that conversation yet. Couldn't say the words out loud. I failed. I lost everything. The city moved around her. Cars honked. People rushed past. Life continued, indifferent to her personal apocalypse. Maya stood there, frozen, trying to figure out what to do next. That's when she saw him. He was across the street, leaning against a black Mercedes with tinted windows. Tall. Broad-shouldered. Even from a distance, Maya could feel the intensity of his gaze. He was watching her. Something about the way he stood, perfectly still in a world that never stopped moving, made her skin prickle with awareness. He wore a black suit, expensive and perfectly tailored. Dark hair swept back from a face that could have been carved from stone. And he was staring directly at her. Maya's breath caught. Who was he? Why was he watching her? A moment passed. Then another. He pushed off from the car and started walking toward her. Maya's instinct was to run. But her feet wouldn't move. She was transfixed, caught in the gravity of his approach. He crossed the street with casual confidence, as if the traffic would simply bend around him. And somehow it did. He stopped 3 feet away. Up close he was devastating. Sharp jaw. Dark eyes that seemed to see straight through her. A mouth that looked like it rarely smiled. Maya Sterling, he said. His voice was deep, with the faintest trace of a Korean accent. You've had a difficult day. It wasn't a question. Maya found her voice. Do I know you? Not yet. His eyes swept over her face, assessing. But you will. There was something magnetic about him. Dangerous. Maya should be afraid, but instead she felt drawn. I don't talk to strangers, she said, forcing strength into her voice. Smart. A ghost of a smile touched his lips. But I'm not here to hurt you, Maya. I'm here to offer you a choice. A choice. Come with me now or go home and wait for your world to get worse. Maya's stomach twisted. How do you know my name? How do you know what happened up there? I know everything worth knowing. He gestured toward the Mercedes. You have 10 seconds to decide. This is insane. I don't even know who you are. My name is Kang Joon-ho, and I'm the man who's going to change your life. His dark eyes held hers. 10 seconds, Maya. Choose. Maya's heart hammered against her ribs. Every rational part of her brain screamed to walk away. This was how horror movies started. Strange man. Expensive car. Too good to be true offer. But something in his eyes stopped her. Not kindness. Joon-ho didn't look like a kind man. But there was a certainty there. A promise unspoken. I will not harm you. Why me? Maya asked. Why are you doing this? Because you're more valuable than you know. And because the people up there, he nodded toward the Sterling building, are fools who can't recognize what they have. The words shouldn't have affected her. But they did. After an hour of being torn apart, having someone see value in her felt like oxygen. 5 seconds, Joon-ho said softly. Maya glanced back at the building. At the glass tower that had been her life for 3 years. At the career that had just died. She had nothing to go back to. Nothing to lose. One condition, Maya said, meeting his eyes. You tell me what this is really about. All of it. The truth. Joon-ho's expression didn't change. Agreed. But not here. He opened the car door. After you. Maya took a breath and stepped toward the Mercedes. The leather interior was cool and dark. Expensive cologne mixed with something else. Danger, maybe? The indefinable scent of power. Joon-ho slid in beside her, his presence overwhelming in the enclosed space. He knocked twice on the partition. The car pulled smoothly into traffic. Where are we going? Maya asked. Somewhere we can talk properly. He settled back against the seat, his eyes never leaving her face. Tell me, Maya. Why did your pitch fail? She hesitated. I don't know. Everything was perfect. I checked it 100 times. But Park walked out anyway. Yes. Because the presentation was never the problem, Joon-ho said quietly. The problem was that Chin sold your research to Park's competitor 3 days ago. Park knew every detail of your pitch before you opened your mouth. That's why he was insulted. He thought Sterling was playing him for a fool. Maya felt the blood drain from her face. What? Your boss sold you out. Used your work to make a quick 100,000 from Park's rival. Then blamed you when it inevitably fell apart. The pieces clicked into place. The way Chin had been so insistent on reviewing her research personally. The way he'd seemed almost pleased when Park walked out. The readiness with which he'd fired her. Rage boiled up inside Maya's chest. That bastard. Yes. Joon-ho's voice was calm. Almost soothing. But now you know the truth. And knowing the truth gives you power. The Mercedes glided through Seoul streets. Maya watched the city blur past, her mind reeling. How do you know all this? She asked. Because I make it my business to know everything that happens in this city. Joon-ho's eyes glittered in the shadows. Especially when it involves people like Chin. People like Chin? Corrupt. Arrogant. Men who believe the rules don't apply to them. There was something in his tone. Something that made Maya's pulse quicken. What are you? A journalist? Joon-ho laughed. Actually laughed. The sound was rich and unexpected. No, Maya. I'm not a journalist. Then what? He turned to face her fully. In the dim light of the car he looked dangerous. Beautiful. Terrifying. I'm the man who runs this city from the shadows. The one people whisper about but never name. The one who makes problems disappear. His voice dropped. I'm Kang Joon-ho. Leader of the Baekho-pa. Maya's blood turned to ice. Baekho-pa. The White Tiger Clan. One of the most powerful organized crime syndicates in South Korea. She was in a car with a mafia boss. I should get out, Maya whispered. But you won't. Joon-ho's eyes held hers. Because you're smarter than that. You know I'm offering you something no one else can. What could you possibly offer me? Revenge. Justice. And a place where your talents will be appreciated, not exploited. Maya's hands trembled. She clasped them together, trying to maintain composure. I'm not a criminal. Neither am I. At her skeptical look, Joon-ho continued. I'm a businessman, Maya. I manage investments, real estate, entertainment ventures. The fact that some of my methods exist in legal gray areas doesn't change what I do. I protect my people and grow my empire. Legal gray areas, Maya repeated. That's one way to put it. Would you prefer I lie to you? Pretend to be something I'm not? His gaze was intense. I promised you the truth. This is it. I'm not a good man by conventional standards. But I'm a man of my word. And I protect what's mine. I'm not yours. Not yet. The words hung between them like a promise. Or a threat. But I'd like you to be. Maya's breath caught. What does that mean? It means I want you to work for me. Use those analytical skills Chen was too stupid to value. Help me expand my legitimate businesses. And in return, I'll give you everything you've ever wanted. Respect, security, power. I don't want power. Yes, you do. You just haven't admitted it yet. Joon-ho leaned closer. You've spent your entire career being underestimated. Passed over for promotions. Watching less qualified men climb over you. Don't tell me you've never fantasized about showing them all what you're capable of. He was right. God help her, he was right. This is insane, Maya whispered. Probably. A slight smile curved his lips. But you're still here. That tells me everything I need to know. The Mercedes pulled up to a building Maya recognized, one of the most expensive high-rises in Gangnam. Penthouse apartments here cost tens of millions of dollars. Come, Joon-ho said, stepping out of the car. Let me show you what I'm offering. Maya followed him into the lobby. The doorman bowed deeply as they passed. The elevator was private, requiring a key card. It rose smoothly, silently, carrying them to the top floor. The penthouse doors opened onto something out of a magazine. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the entire city. Modern furniture. Art that probably cost more than Maya's lifetime salary. Everything was black, white, and chrome. Elegant. Ruthless. This is your home? Maya asked. One of them. Joon-ho shrugged off his jacket, draping it over a chair. Underneath, his shirt was crisp white. I have properties all over the world. But this is where I do most of my business. He walked to a bar cart and poured 2 glasses of whiskey. Handed one to Maya. She took it but didn't drink. Why am I here really? Because I've been watching you for 3 months, Joon-ho said simply. Maya's hand tightened on the glass. What? Your work came across my desk. An analysis you did on emerging markets in Southeast Asia. It was brilliant, insightful. Better than anything my own analysts had produced. He took a sip of whiskey. I started paying attention after that. Watching your career. Watching how Chin treated you. How he took credit for your work. How he systematically undermined you. You've been stalking me? I've been evaluating you, Joon-ho corrected. There's a difference. And what I've learned is that you're exactly what my organization needs. Someone brilliant. Someone hungry. Someone who isn't afraid to color outside the lines when necessary. I haven't agreed to anything. I know. He set down his glass and moved closer. But you will. Because deep down, Maya, you know the truth. The straight world failed you. They used you, betrayed you, and threw you away. But here, in my world, loyalty means something. Excellence is rewarded. And no one, his voice hardened, no one humiliates what belongs to me. Maya's mind was spinning. Everything about this was wrong. Dangerous. Insane. But it was also tempting. I need to think, she said. Of course. Joon-ho stepped back, giving her space. Take all the time you need. You can stay here tonight. There are guest rooms. In the morning we'll talk more. I should go home. Your roommate texted you 4 times in the last hour. And called twice. At Maya's shocked expression, Joon-ho's lips quirked. Your phone is on the table. I haven't touched it. But I can see the notifications from here. Maya grabbed her phone. He was right. Jessica was worried. Are you okay? What happened? Maya, seriously, I'm getting worried. Call me. Talk to her, Joon-ho said. Tell her you're safe. That you're staying with a friend tonight. Then get some rest. We'll continue this conversation tomorrow. Maya nodded slowly. She walked to the windows, putting distance between them, and called Jessica. Oh my God, finally. Jessica's voice was panicked. What happened? Are you okay? I'm fine. Long story. I'll tell you everything tomorrow. Did you get fired? Sarah from accounting texted me. She said security escorted you out. Yes, I got fired. Saying it out loud made it real. But I'm okay. I'm staying with A friend tonight. Behind her, Maya could feel Joon-ho's eyes on her back. What friend? Maya, what's going on? I promise I'll explain everything tomorrow. I just need tonight to process. Okay. Jessica hesitated. Okay. But call me if you need anything. And I mean anything. I will. Love you. Love you too. Maya hung up and turned back to Joon-ho. I can't believe I'm doing this. You're doing it because you're brave, Joon-ho said softly. Because despite everything that happened today, you haven't broken. You're still fighting. That's what drew me to you, Maya. Your strength. The compliment caught her off guard. Made something warm bloom in her chest. I'm not strong. I'm just surviving. Surviving is strength. He moved toward the hallway. Come. I'll show you where you can sleep. The guest room was as elegant as the rest of the penthouse. King-sized bed. Silk sheets. An ensuite bathroom with a soaking tub. There are clothes in the closet, Joon-ho said. They should fit you. And anything else you need, just ask. Maya frowned. Why do you have women's clothes? I don't. I had them purchased this afternoon. At her expression, he added, after I saw Chen fire you, I anticipated you might need them. You knew I'd say yes. I hoped you would. His eyes held hers. There's a difference. Maya sat on the edge of the bed, suddenly exhausted. The adrenaline of the day was crashing, leaving her hollow and shaky. I don't understand any of this, she whispered. Joon-ho crouched in front of her, bringing himself to her eye level. The gesture was surprisingly gentle from a man who radiated danger. You don't have to understand everything tonight, he said. Just know this, you're safe here. No one will hurt you. And tomorrow we'll figure out the rest together. Maya met his eyes. Saw something there she didn't expect, sincerity. Maybe even kindness, buried deep beneath layers of carefully constructed armor. Why do you care? She asked. Really? Joon-ho was quiet for a long moment. Then, because I know what it's like to be thrown away. To be told you're worthless. And I know what it's like to prove them all wrong. He stood. Get some rest, Maya. Tomorrow is a new beginning. He left, closing the door softly behind him. Maya sat alone in the beautiful room in the penthouse of a mafia boss, and tried to make sense of her new reality. Sometimes the end of everything is just the beginning of something greater. She fell asleep still wearing her work clothes, too exhausted to change, and dreamed of dark eyes and dangerous promises. Maya woke to sunlight streaming through floor-to-ceiling windows. For a confused moment she didn't know where she was. Then memory crashed back. The firing. The stranger. The revelation. Kang Joon-ho. Mafia boss. She sat up, her heart racing. What had she done? What was she doing here? A soft knock on the door made her jump. Come in, she called, her voice rough with sleep. A woman entered, maybe 50 years old, with kind eyes and graying hair pulled into a neat bun. She carried a tray with coffee and breakfast. Good morning, Miss Sterling, she said in Korean. I'm Mrs. Han. I manage Mr. Kang's household. I thought you might be hungry. Maya's Korean was decent, but she responded in English. Thank you. That's very kind. Mrs. Han switched to English seamlessly. Mr. Kang asked me to let you know he has a meeting this morning, but he'll be free by 10. He hopes you'll join him for breakfast on the terrace. What time is it now? 8:30. Maya took the coffee gratefully. Mrs. Han? How long have you worked for Mr. Kang? The older woman smiled. 15 years. Since he was just starting out. And he's a good employer? The best I've ever had. There was no hesitation in her voice. Mr. Kang takes care of his people. Always has. After Mrs. Han left, Maya showered and explored the closet. True to Joon-ho's word, it was full of clothes in her exact size. Casual wear. Business attire. Even exercise clothes. She chose dark jeans and a soft cream sweater. Simple. Comfortable. Not trying too hard. When she emerged, she followed the sound of voices to a terrace overlooking the city. Joon-ho sat at a glass table, papers spread before him. Two men stood nearby, one young, maybe mid-20s with sharp features and alert eyes. The other was older, broad-shouldered, with scars on his knuckles. They were speaking in rapid Korean. Maya caught fragments. Shipment? Port of Busan. Clean. Joon-ho looked up as she approached. His expression softened almost imperceptibly. Maya. Good morning. He stood, and the other men immediately stopped talking. Did you sleep well? Better than I expected. She eyed the papers on the table. I can come back if you're busy. We're finished. Joon-ho said something in Korean to the two men. They bowed slightly and left. Maya sat across from him. Your associates? My brother Minjun. He nodded toward the younger man's retreating back. And my head of security, Dae-young. Your brother works for you? With me. There's a difference. Joon-ho poured her coffee from a French press. Minjun handles our shipping interests. Dae-young keeps everyone alive. The casual way he said it made Maya's skin prickle. Speaking of which, Joon-ho continued, I had my lawyers review your contract with Sterling. Chen's termination was illegal. You have grounds for a lawsuit. Maya blinked. You had lawyers review my contract? When? Last night. While you slept. He slid a folder across the table. I took the liberty of having them draft a wrongful termination suit. All you have to do is sign. Maya stared at the folder. You work fast. I don't waste time. Joon-ho's eyes held hers. The question is, do you want to pursue it? Or do you want something better? Better? My offer still stands. Work for me. Use your skills for something more meaningful than making rich men richer. Maya's hand hovered over the folder. What exactly would I be doing? Analyzing investments. Identifying opportunities. Helping me expand my legitimate businesses. He leaned back. Maya, contrary to popular belief, most of what I do is legal. I own hotels, restaurants, entertainment venues. I invest in real estate and tech startups. I need someone with your analytical mind to help me grow that empire. And the illegal parts? You'll never be directly involved in anything that could put you at risk. His voice was firm. That's my promise to you. After breakfast, Joon-ho offered to show her his world. Maya agreed, partly out of curiosity, partly because she had nowhere else to go. They drove through Seoul in the Mercedes. Joon-ho pointed out properties he owned: a luxury hotel in Myeongdong, a chain of high-end restaurants in Gangnam, a nightclub in Itaewon that was infamous for its exclusivity. I started with nothing, he said as they drove. My father was a small-time loan shark. Got himself killed when I was 17. Left me with nothing but debts and enemies. Maya looked at him. How did you survive? I was smarter than everyone else. And more ruthless when I needed to be. He glanced at her. I paid off my father's debts. Consolidated his territory. Started making deals. By the time I was 25, I controlled half of Gangnam. That's quite a resume. A ghost of a smile. It left out the parts where I almost died. Multiple times. They stopped at a construction site. A massive building was going up, all steel and glass. Mixed-use development, Joon-ho explained. Luxury apartments on top. Commercial space below. Opens next year. This is the kind of work I want your help with, identifying locations, analyzing market trends, maximizing returns. Maya studied the blueprints he showed her. Despite herself, she was intrigued. The project was ambitious. Smart. The location is perfect, she said. Near 3 subway lines. Walking distance to business districts. You could charge premium rates. That's exactly what I thought. Joon-ho's eyes gleamed with approval. See? You're already thinking like someone who belongs in my world. For lunch, Joon-ho took her to a private restaurant. The kind that didn't have a sign, didn't take reservations unless you knew the owner, and served food that was more art than sustenance. The owner, an elegant woman in her 60s, greeted Joon-ho with warm familiarity. Joon-ho. It's been too long. She kissed both his cheeks, then turned curious eyes to Maya. And who is this? Maya Sterling. My new analyst. To Maya he said, this is Madame Choi. She runs the best restaurant in Seoul. The only restaurant worth eating at, Madame Choi corrected with a wink. Come, come. I have your usual table. They sat in a private room overlooking a garden. The meal was exquisite. Multiple courses, each more beautiful than the last. Madame Choi was one of my first investments, Joon-ho explained. 20 years ago, she had a tiny restaurant in Hongdae. Brilliant chef, but drowning in debt from her ex-husband's gambling. I paid off her debts, helped her relocate here, became a silent partner. That was kind of you. It was smart business. She's made me 10 times my initial investment. He paused. But yes, I suppose it was also kind. Maya studied him over her wine glass. You're not what I expected. What did you expect? Someone more. She searched for the right word. Violent? Cold? I can be both those things when necessary. His voice was matter-of-fact. But I prefer not to be. Violence is expensive and attracts attention. I'd rather solve problems with money and influence. But sometimes violence is necessary? Sometimes. His eyes darkened. When people threaten what's mine, I respond accordingly. The way he said it made Maya shiver. Not with fear. With something else. Something she didn't want to examine too closely. After lunch, they returned to the penthouse. Maya felt the weight of the decision pressing down on her. I need to know what I'm really getting into, she said as they entered the living room. No more dancing around it. If I work for you, what does that actually mean? Joon-ho respected her directness. He gestured for her to sit, then took the chair across from her. It means you become part of my inner circle. You'll have access to everything, financial records, business plans, strategic initiatives. You'll advise me on investments, help me identify opportunities, analyze risks. And the illegal parts? You'll know they exist. You'll see money moving through channels that aren't entirely legitimate. But you won't be involved in the operations themselves. He leaned forward. Maya, I'm not asking you to hurt anyone or break any laws directly. I'm asking you to be brilliant at what you already do. But I'd be complicit. Yes. He didn't sugarcoat it. You would be. And that's a line you'll have to decide if you can cross. Maya stood, pacing to the windows. The city stretched out below her. Somewhere down there was her apartment, her old life, the ruins of her career. What about Chin? She asked. What happens to him? Joon-ho's expression hardened. What do you want to happen to him? I don't know. He betrayed you. Stole your work. Destroyed your reputation. If you work for me, I can make sure he pays for that. Maya turned to face him. How? I have evidence of his sale to Park's competitor. I can leak it to the right people. His career will be over within a week. Joon-ho's voice was cold. Or I can do worse if you prefer. The offer was tempting. God, it was tempting. I just want him to face consequences, Maya said quietly. Real ones. Not violence. Just justice. Then that's what you'll have. Joon-ho stood. Work for me, Maya. Let me show you what your life could be. Maya closed her eyes. Took a breath. When she opened them, her decision was made. Okay, she whispered. I'm in. Joon-ho's expression didn't change, but Maya saw something flicker in his eyes. Satisfaction. Maybe even relief. There's paperwork, he said, moving to his office. I want everything documented. Your salary, your role, your protections. Protections? If anything happens to me, you're taken care of. Financially secure for life. That's in the contract. Maya followed him into an office that was all dark wood and leather. He pulled out a document, already prepared, she noticed. How long had he been planning this? The contract was surprisingly straightforward. Senior strategic analyst. Salary that made her gasp. Benefits that included housing, security, and a signing bonus that was more than she'd made in 2 years at Sterling. This is too much, she said. It's what you're worth. Joon-ho handed her a pen. Sign it, Maya. Become mine. The way he said it, become mine, sent heat through her veins. She signed. Joon-ho countersigned, then extended his hand. Welcome to the Empire. Maya shook his hand. His grip was firm, warm. For a moment, neither of them let go. What happens now? Maya asked. Now, I introduce you to the family. That evening, Joon-ho took her to a private club in Gangnam. The kind of place that looked unassuming from the outside but inside was pure luxury. They were led to a private room where 5 people waited. Min-jun, Joon-ho's brother, nodded at her. The new analyst. Welcome. Dae-young, the scarred security chief, assessed her with sharp eyes. Can she handle herself? She's here, isn't she? Joon-ho's voice carried a warning. Maya is under my protection. Make sure everyone knows it. The others introduced themselves. Ji-woo, a stunning woman in her 30s who handled money laundering, though she called it financial consulting. She looked Maya up and down, then smiled. Smart move, boss. We needed fresh blood. Tae-min, tech specialist, early 20s with purple hair and multiple piercings. Nice to meet you. I handle all our digital infrastructure. If you need anything tech-related, I'm your guy. And Unicio, an elegant older man who managed their political connections. Miss Sterling, your reputation precedes you. I've read your work on Southeast Asian markets. Impressive. Maya felt overwhelmed. These people were criminals. She was sitting with criminals. But they were also normal, professional. They treated her with respect. Joon-ho's hand found the small of her back. Maya is going to help us expand our legitimate operations. I want everyone to give her full access to whatever she needs. What about Chin? Ji-woo asked, her eyes gleaming. Are we handling that? Yes, but carefully. No direct connections to us. Joon-ho looked at Unicio. Can you leak the evidence to the Financial Services Commission? Consider it done. Maya realized she was watching her revenge being orchestrated in real time. The thought should have disturbed her. It didn't. After the meeting, Joon-ho drove Maya back to her apartment to collect her things. You're moving into the penthouse, he said. It wasn't a question. I am? It's easier. Safer. And you'll have your own wing, complete privacy. He glanced at her. Unless you prefer to stay here? Maya looked at her tiny apartment. Shared with Jessica. Cramped. Ordinary. I need to tell Jessica something, she said. Tell her you got a new job. High-level consulting. Requires you to relocate. It's not even a lie. Inside, Jessica was waiting, worry etched on her face. Oh my God, Maya. I've been going crazy. What happened? Maya took a breath and told her a carefully edited version. New consulting opportunity. Private client. Immediate start. Great pay. Requires living on site. This is insane, Jessica said. Yesterday you were fired, today you have a dream job? Who is this client? I can't say. NDA. Maya hated lying to her best friend. But Jess, I promise I'm okay. Better than okay. Jessica studied her face. You seem different. Calmer? I am. And it was true. Despite everything, or maybe because of it, Maya felt more certain than she had in years. She packed quickly. Clothes. Laptop. A few personal items. Joon-ho waited in the car, giving her privacy. When she came down with her suitcase, he took it from her without a word. Thank you, Maya said as they drove away. For everything. Don't thank me yet. Joon-ho's voice was soft. Your life is about to get very complicated. Maya's wing of the penthouse was like a luxury apartment unto itself. Bedroom. Office. Private bathroom with a shower that had more settings than her old TV. Mrs. Han had already unpacked her things, organized everything perfectly. Mr. Kang asked me to tell you that dinner is at 8 if you'd like to join him, the housekeeper said. Otherwise, I can bring something to your room. Maya checked the time. 7:30. I'll join him. She changed into one of the dresses from the closet, a simple black sheath that somehow fit perfectly. Applied minimal makeup. Let her hair down for the first time all day. When she emerged, Joon-ho was on the terrace, watching the city lights come alive. He turned as she approached, and Maya saw his expression shift. Appreciation. He quickly masked. You look beautiful, he said. Maya's breath caught. Thank you. They ate dinner under the stars. Mrs. Han had prepared Korean barbecue, and they cooked the meat together at the table, the ritual intimate and domestic. Tell me about your family, Joon-ho said. There's not much to tell. Parents died when I was 19. Car accident. No siblings. I put myself through college with scholarships and student loans. No one else. Just Jessica. And now? Maya looked at him. I suppose now I have you. Yes, Joon-ho said quietly. Now you have me. The weight of those words settled between them. A promise. A claim. What about you? Maya asked. You mentioned your father. What about your mother? Joon-ho's jaw tightened. She left when I was 8. Couldn't handle the life my father chose. Last I heard she remarried. Lives in Busan. We don't speak. I'm sorry. Don't be. She made her choice. I made mine. He poured more wine. Minjun is all the family I need. But the way he looked at Maya suggested he was reconsidering that statement. Later after dinner they sat in the living room. Joon-ho worked on his laptop while Maya reviewed files he'd given her, legitimate business proposals that needed analysis. It felt strangely normal. Comfortable. Can I ask you something? Maya said. Always. Why didn't you just hire me? Why all the drama? The rescue? The intensity? Joon-ho closed his laptop, giving her his full attention. Because I needed you to see the truth. About Chin. About your old life. If I just approached you with a job offer, you would have said no. You would have been loyal to a company that didn't deserve you. So you manipulated me. I gave you a choice at the exact moment you were ready to make it. He stood, moving closer. Maya, I could have intervened earlier. Could have exposed Chin weeks ago. But you wouldn't have left. You would have stayed and fought and let them destroy you slowly. He was right. Maya knew he was right. I don't like being manipulated, she said quietly. I know. And I won't do it again. Joon-ho crouched in front of her chair, bringing himself to her eye level. From now on, I'll always tell you the truth. Even when it's ugly. Even when it hurts. That's my promise to you. Maya looked into his dark eyes and saw sincerity there. And something else. something that made her pulse race. Why do you care so much? She whispered. About me specifically? Joon-ho's hand came up, fingers brushing her cheek with surprising gentleness. Because when I look at you, I see someone who understands what it's like to fight for everything. To be underestimated. To be hungry for more. His voice dropped. You remind me of myself. Before the world taught me to be hard. Maya's breath caught. The moment stretched between them, charged and electric. Then Joon-ho pulled back, standing. It's late. You should rest. Tomorrow we start your real training. Maya nodded, not trusting her voice. She went to bed that night with her heart racing, wondering what she'd gotten herself into. And wondering why she'd never felt more alive. After the meeting, Joon-ho drove Maya back to her apartment to collect her things. You're moving into the penthouse, he said. It wasn't a question. I am? It's easier. Safer. And you'll have your own wing, complete privacy. He glanced at her. Unless you prefer to stay here? Maya looked at her tiny apartment. Shared with Jessica. Cramped. Ordinary. I need to tell Jessica something, she said. Tell her you got a new job. High-level consulting. Requires you to relocate. It's not even a lie. Inside, Jessica was waiting, worry etched on her face. Oh my God, Maya. I've been going crazy. What happened? Maya took a breath and told her a carefully edited version. New consulting opportunity. Private client. Immediate start. Great pay. Requires living on site. This is insane, Jessica said. Yesterday you were fired, today you have a dream job? Who is this client? I can't say. NDA. Maya hated lying to her best friend. But Jess, I promise I'm okay. Better than okay. Jessica studied her face. You seem different. Calmer? I am. And it was true. Despite everything, or maybe because of it, Maya felt more certain than she had in years. She packed quickly. Clothes, laptop, a few personal items. Joon-ho waited in the car, giving her privacy. When she came down with her suitcase, he took it from her without a word. Thank you, Maya said as they drove away. For everything. Don't thank me yet. Joon-ho's voice was soft. Your life is about to get very complicated. Maya's wing of the penthouse was like a luxury apartment unto itself. Bedroom. Office. Private bathroom with a shower that had more settings than her old TV. Mrs. Han had already unpacked her things, organized everything perfectly. Mr. Kang asked me to tell you that dinner is at 8 if you'd like to join him, the housekeeper said. Otherwise, I can bring something to your room. Maya checked the time. 7:30. I'll join him. She changed into one of the dresses from the closet, a simple black sheath that somehow fit perfectly. Applied minimal makeup. Let her hair down for the first time all day. When she emerged, Joon-ho was on the terrace, watching the city lights come alive. He turned as she approached, and Maya saw his expression shift. Appreciation. He quickly masked. You look beautiful, he said. Maya's breath caught. Thank you. They ate dinner under the stars. Mrs. Han had prepared Korean barbecue, and they cooked the meat together at the table, the ritual intimate and domestic. Tell me about your family, Joon-ho said. There's not much to tell. Parents died when I was 19. Car accident. No siblings. I put myself through college with scholarships and student loans. No one else. Just Jessica. And now? Maya looked at him. I suppose now I have you. Yes, Joon-ho said quietly. Now you have me. The weight of those words settled between them. A promise. A claim. What about you? Maya asked. You mentioned your father. What about your mother? Joon-ho's jaw tightened. She left when I was 8. Couldn't handle the life my father chose. Last I heard she remarried. Lives in Busan. We don't speak. I'm sorry. Don't be. She made her choice. I made mine. He poured more wine. Minjun is all the family I need. But the way he looked at Maya suggested he was reconsidering that statement. Later after dinner they sat in the living room. Joon-ho worked on his laptop while Maya reviewed files he'd given her, legitimate business proposals that needed analysis. It felt strangely normal. Comfortable. Can I ask you something? Maya said. Always. Why didn't you just hire me? Why all the drama? The rescue? The intensity? Joon-ho closed his laptop, giving her his full attention. Because I needed you to see the truth. About Chin. About your old life. If I just approached you with a job offer, you would have said no. You would have been loyal to a company that didn't deserve you. So you manipulated me. I gave you a choice at the exact moment you were ready to make it. He stood, moving closer. Maya, I could have intervened earlier. Could have exposed Chin weeks ago. But you wouldn't have left. You would have stayed and fought and let them destroy you slowly. He was right. Maya knew he was right. I don't like being manipulated, she said quietly. I know. And I won't do it again. Joon-ho crouched in front of her chair, bringing himself to her eye level. From now on, I'll always tell you the truth. Even when it's ugly. Even when it hurts. That's my promise to you. Maya looked into his dark eyes and saw sincerity there. And something else. Something that made her pulse race. Why do you care so much? She whispered. About me specifically? Joon-ho's hand came up, fingers brushing her cheek with surprising gentleness. Because when I look at you, I see someone who understands what it's like to fight for everything. To be underestimated. To be hungry for more. His voice dropped. You remind me of myself. Before the world taught me to be hard. Maya's breath caught. The moment stretched between them, charged and electric. Then Joon-ho pulled back, standing. It's late. You should rest. Tomorrow we start your real training. Maya nodded, not trusting her voice. She went to bed that night with her heart racing, wondering what she'd gotten herself into. And wondering why she'd never felt more alive. The problem was significant. A rival organization, the Yongsan crew, had started moving into Joon-ho's territory. Not violently. Not yet. But testing boundaries. Making moves. They hit 3 of our businesses this week, Minjun explained back at the penthouse. The family had gathered for an emergency meeting. Protection money went unpaid. Shipments were delayed. Small things, but it's a pattern. Who's leading them? Joon-ho asked. Choi Young-ho. He's young, ambitious, stupid. Stupid is dangerous. Dae-young cracked his knuckles. Want me to send a message? Not yet. Joon-ho was thinking, calculating. Violence will escalate this into a war we don't need. We handle this carefully. Maya had been listening quietly. Now she spoke up. What if we make moving into your territory economically unviable? Everyone turned to look at her. Explain, Joon-ho said. The Yongsan crew is small. They're taking risks because they're desperate for expansion. But if we can identify their revenue streams and cut them off, they'll retreat on their own. Jiwoo leaned forward, interested. How? Maya pulled out her tablet, pulling up research she'd done on rival organizations. According to my analysis, Yongsan's main income comes from 3 nightclubs in Hongdae. If those clubs suddenly couldn't get liquor licenses renewed, or if health inspectors found violations, or if their protection became too expensive. Joon-ho smiled. Actually smiled. They'd be bleeding money within weeks. Exactly. No violence. No war. Just economics. Unisio nodded slowly. I can make calls. Get the right inspectors involved. It's elegant. Do it, Joon-ho ordered. Then to Maya, brilliant. This is exactly why I needed you. Pride swelled in Maya's chest. Maya's plan worked. Within 2 weeks, the Yongsan crew was scrambling to save their primary revenue sources. They retreated from Joon-ho's territory without a single shot fired. But Young-ho wasn't the type to accept defeat gracefully. Maya was leaving a legitimate business meeting in Gangnam, reviewing a hotel acquisition, when she felt it. The prickle of being watched. She turned. Saw nothing suspicious. But the feeling persisted. Her phone buzzed. Dae-young, where are you? Gangnam. What? Stay put. Don't move. Sending car now. Maya's heart rate spiked. Something was wrong. She ducked into a coffee shop, positioning herself where she could watch the street. 5 minutes later, a familiar black Mercedes pulled up. Dae-young himself was driving. Get in. Now. Maya obeyed. What's happening? Young-ho knows you're the one who orchestrated his downfall. He's put a target on you. Maya's blood turned cold. A target? Nothing's happened yet. But we intercepted communications. He's looking for leverage against Joon-ho. And you? Dae-young glanced at her. Your leverage. Joon-ho was waiting at the penthouse, his expression thunderous. This is my fault, he said as soon as Maya entered. I should have anticipated this. You couldn't have known? I should have. His hands clenched into fists. I brought you into this world. Made you a target. This is on me. Joon-ho. He crossed to her, pulling her into his arms. The embrace was fierce, protective. I won't let anything happen to you. Do you understand? I will burn this entire city down before I let anyone hurt you. Maya's arms came up, wrapping around him. She could feel his heart racing against hers. I'm not afraid, she whispered. And it was true. With him holding her, she felt safe. You should be. Joon-ho pulled back, his hands framing her face. This is why I didn't want. Why I kept my distance. Getting close to me makes you a target. I don't care. You should. Well, I don't. Maya met his eyes. I'm exactly where I want to be. Something shifted in Joon-ho's expression. The careful control he'd maintained for weeks cracked. Maya. Don't. She put her hand over his mouth. Don't push me away. Not now. For a long moment they stood frozen. Then Joon-ho's hand covered hers, pulling it away from his lips. You're making this impossible, he said roughly. Good. That night, Joon-ho called another meeting. But this time it was different. We need to eliminate Young-ho as a threat, he said without preamble. Permanently. The room went still. You mean kill him, Min-jun said. I mean remove him from the equation. Joon-ho's voice was ice. He threatened Maya. That's a line no one crosses. Maya felt everyone's eyes on her. This was her fault. Her plan had worked too well, embarrassed Young-ho too publicly. There has to be another way, she said. More legal pressure. Economic warfare. Something that doesn't involve. This is what our world is, Joon-ho cut her off. Sometimes, violence is the only language people understand. But, no. He turned to her, his expression hard. You don't get a vote on this, Maya. This is my call. My organization. My responsibility to protect what's mine. The words stung. After weeks of being treated as an equal, suddenly she was being shut out. Fine, Maya said coldly. Handle it your way. She left the meeting, returned to her wing, and tried not to think about what was being planned in that room. Joon-ho came to her room hours later. It was past midnight. I'm sorry, he said from the doorway. I shouldn't have dismissed you like that. Maya was sitting by the window watching the city. She didn't turn around. You were right. It's your organization. Your call. But you're part of this now. Your opinion matters. He moved closer. I'm not used to caring what anyone thinks. It's difficult. Caring is difficult, Maya agreed. That's why most people avoid it. Joon-ho sat beside her. For a while they were quiet. I'm not going to kill Young-ho, he finally said. You were right. There are better ways. Smarter ways. What changed your mind? You did. He looked at her. You make me want to be better than I am. To choose the right path, not just the easy one. Maya's heart clenched. Joon-ho. I've spent 15 years building an empire. Becoming powerful. Untouchable. His voice dropped. But none of it means anything if I lose you in the process. You won't lose me. Won't I? His hand found hers. Maya, I'm falling for you. Have been since the moment I saw you standing on that sidewalk, destroyed but still standing. Still fighting. He laughed bitterly. I told myself I could keep my distance. That I could protect you without getting attached. But I was lying to myself. Maya's breath caught. You're falling for me? Completely. Terrifyingly. Joon-ho turned to face her fully. And it scares the hell out of me because everyone I've ever cared about has either left or been taken from me. I'm not going anywhere. You say that now. But this life, it's dangerous. Dark. You deserve better. Maya took his face in her hands, forcing him to look at her. Stop deciding what I deserve. I'm a grown woman who makes her own choices. And I choose this. I choose you. Joon-ho's eyes searched hers. You're sure? I've never been more sure of anything. The distance between them dissolved. Joon-ho's hand slid into her hair, tilting her face up. Tell me to stop. No. His lips met hers and the world caught fire. The kiss was everything Maya had imagined and nothing like it. Hungry and gentle. Demanding and giving. It was weeks of tension finally breaking, flooding them both. Joon-ho pulled her closer and Maya went willingly, her arms wrapping around his neck. She could feel his heart racing, matching hers. When they finally broke apart, both were breathing hard. I've wanted to do that for weeks, Joon-ho admitted, his forehead resting against hers. Me too. This changes everything. I know. You're mine now, Joon-ho said fiercely. Completely. No going back. I was always yours, Maya whispered. From the moment you claimed me. Maya woke wrapped in Joon-ho's arms. He'd stayed the night, not making love but holding her. Protecting her even in sleep. The sun was just rising, painting the room in gold. You're thinking too loud, Joon-ho murmured, his voice rough with sleep. Maya smiled. Sorry. What's going on in that brilliant mind? Just wondering how we make this work. You and me. Given everything. Joon-ho opened his eyes, studying her. We're honest with each other. Always. No secrets. No games. Can you do that? Be honest? Let me in completely? For you I'll try. He kissed her forehead. That's the best I can promise. It's enough. They lay there for a while longer, savoring the peace. Outside the city was waking up. But in this moment they had each other. The solution to the Young-ho problem came from an unexpected source. Eunicio. I've been looking into Young-ho's background, the older man said at the next family meeting. Turns out he has connections to a Chinese triad that's been trying to establish operations in Seoul. The triads. Joon-ho's expression darkened. That's trouble. Yes. But it's also opportunity. Eunicio pulled up documents. If we can prove Young-ho is working with foreign organized crime, the Korean authorities will come down on him hard. It's a matter of national security. Maya leaned forward. Do we have proof? We will. I have a source inside his organization. Getting the evidence will take time, but it's feasible. Joon-ho looked around the table. Thoughts? It's cleaner than violence, Ji-woo said. And it removes Young-ho without starting a war. Min-jun nodded. I agree. Plus, it sends a message to anyone else thinking about moving into our territory. Maya? Joon-ho asked. She met his eyes. I think it's the right move. Smart. Strategic. Then we do it Eunicio's way. Joon-ho's hand found Maya's under the table, squeezing gently. But we move fast. I want this resolved. The next 3 weeks were tense. Eunicio worked his sources. Evidence was gathered, carefully documented, prepared for presentation to the authorities. During this time, Maya barely left the penthouse. Dae-young had doubled security. She was never alone. But she had Joon-ho. They grew closer during those weeks, talking late into the night, learning each other's habits, quirks, dreams. Joon-ho showed her sides of himself he'd kept hidden, the boy who'd had to grow up too fast, the man who carried the weight of hundreds of lives on his shoulders. Maya shared her own stories. The loneliness after her parents died. The years of fighting to prove herself. The dreams she'd given up along the way. What did you want to be? Joon-ho asked one night. Before all this? A writer, actually. Maya laughed at his surprised expression. I wanted to tell stories. Make people feel things. Why didn't you? Money. Practicality. Fear. She shrugged. I chose the safe path. Business school. Corporate job. Look how that turned out. You could still write, Joon-ho said. When this is over. When Young-ho is handled. Maybe. But Maya wasn't sure she wanted to anymore. This life, dangerous and dark as it was, felt more real than anything she'd done before. The breakthrough came on a Thursday. Eunicio called an emergency meeting. We have what we need. Recorded conversations. Financial transactions. Proof of Young-ho's connection to the Shanghai triad. When do we move? Joon-ho asked. Tomorrow. I've arranged a meeting with a prosecutor I trust. She'll handle it from there. But that night everything went wrong. Maya was in her office reviewing files when the lights went out. Emergency backup didn't kick in. Complete darkness. Her phone was dead. The whole system was down. Joon-ho? She called, moving toward the door. It was locked from the outside. Panic flared. Maya tried the door again, pounding on it. Joon-ho. Dae-young. Someone. A voice came through the darkness. Not from the door. From behind her. Hello, Miss Sterling. Maya spun around. A figure stood by the window. Impossible, they were 15 stories up. The man stepped into the moonlight. Young. Angry eyes. Gun in his hand. Young-ho. You cost me everything, he said conversationally. My businesses. My reputation. My territory. He raised the gun. Now I'm going to cost Kang Joon-ho something he cares about. Maya's mind raced. She needed to buy time. Keep him talking. How did you get in here? I have friends everywhere. Even in Kang's organization. Young-ho smiled. You really thought you were safe? Joon-ho will kill you for this. Maybe. But you'll be dead, so it won't matter much to you. The door exploded inward. Literally. Dae-young had blown the lock. Young-ho turned, firing. Dae-young dove left. The bullet missed. Then Joon-ho was there, moving with speed Maya didn't know humans possessed. He crossed the room, disarmed Young-ho, and put him on the ground in 3 seconds. You threaten what's mine, Joon-ho growled, his forearm across Young-ho's throat, and you learn why they call me the White Tiger. Maya had never seen him like this. Pure violence. Pure rage. Joon-ho, she said softly. Don't. He's not worth it. Joon-ho's eyes met hers. For a moment she saw a man capable of terrible things. Then slowly the rage receded. "Get him out of here," Joon-ho ordered. Dae-young dragged Young-ho away. Then Joon-ho crossed to Maya, pulling her into his arms. His hands ran over her, checking for injuries. "Are you hurt? Did he touch you?" "I'm fine. I'm okay. I almost lost you." His voice broke on the words. "If we'd been 30 seconds later?" "But you weren't. You saved me." Joon-ho buried his face in her hair. "I can't do this. Can't live wondering if you're safe. If you're in danger because of me." Maya pulled back, forcing him to look at her. "Then don't. Don't push me away because you're scared. We face this together. Isn't that what you said?" Young-ho was handed over to the authorities the next morning, along with all the evidence Uniseo had gathered. The prosecutor moved fast. Arrest warrants, indictments, immediate custody. The threat was over. But the fear lingered. Joon-ho became more protective, more possessive. He barely let Maya out of his sight. She understood, trauma did that. But it was also suffocating. "We need to talk," she said finally, a week after the attack. They were in his office. Joon-ho looked up from his laptop. About this." Maya gestured between them. "You're treating me like I'm made of glass. Like I'll break. You almost died. But I didn't. And I won't live my life afraid." Joon-ho stood, pacing to the window. "I've lost people, Maya. My father. Friends. People I cared about. They got hurt because of who I am. What I do. I'm not them. I know what I'm getting into. Do you?" He turned, his expression anguished. "Do you really understand what being with me means? The danger. The violence. The constant threat." "Yes," Maya said firmly. "And I choose it anyway. I choose you. But you have to choose me too. All of me. Not the version you can lock away and protect. The real me. The one who's strong enough to stand beside you." Joon-ho crossed to her, pulling her close. "I'm terrified of losing you." "Then don't lose me. Keep me. Let me in. Trust me to handle this life." He kissed her then, deep and desperate. "I love you," he whispered against her lips. "God help me, I love you." Maya's heart soared. "I love you too." With Young-ho neutralized, attention turned to other matters. The Shanghai Triad connection had revealed bigger problems. Foreign organized crime was making moves into Seoul. Joon-ho called a meeting of all the major Korean syndicates. It was unprecedented. Old enemies sitting at the same table. But the threat was too big for territorial disputes. Maya attended as Joon-ho's second, standing by his side as he addressed the room. "The Chinese are coming," he said without preamble. "They've been testing our waters. Young-ho was just the first. If we fight amongst ourselves, they'll pick us off one by one. And you want us to work together?" One of the other bosses, an older man named Huang, laughed. "You've got balls, Kang. I've got sense. Something you should acquire." Joon-ho's tone was ice. "We can spend our resources fighting each other, or we can present a united front. Make it clear that Seoul belongs to us." Another boss, a woman named Lee Sunmi, leaned forward. "What are you proposing?" "Information sharing. Mutual protection. No internal conflicts while the external threat exists." Joon-ho looked around the table. "I'm not asking you to like each other. I'm asking you to be smart." The debate went on for hours. But eventually they agreed. A temporary alliance. Seoul's underworld united against foreign incursion. Was historic. And it was Maya's analysis that had shown them why it was necessary. That night, the family threw a party at one of Joon-ho's clubs. A celebration of survival, of success, of new beginnings. Maya wore red, a dress that made Joon-ho's eyes darken with desire when he saw her. "You're stunning," he murmured, pulling her onto the dance floor. "You're not so bad yourself." She looped her arms around his neck as they swayed to the music. The club was full of their people. Jiwoo laughing with Taemin. Minjun actually smiling. Dae-young keeping watch, but even he seemed relaxed. "This is what you built," Maya said. "Not just an empire. A family. We built it. You're part of this now." Joon-ho's hands tightened on her waist. "My partner. In everything." "In everything," Maya agreed. Later, when the party wound down, Joon-ho took her back to the penthouse. They stood on the terrace, overlooking the city they'd fought to protect. "I have something for you," Joon-ho said. He pulled out a small box. Inside was a key. "It's to a property in Jeju," he explained. "Private. Secure. Somewhere we can go when the world gets too heavy. Just you and me." Maya's throat tightened. "Joon-ho." I know we can't escape this life, but we can have moments, places that are just ours. He closed her fingers around the key. Say you'll come with me. Build a future with me. Yes, Maya whispered. To all of it. To everything. 3 months passed. The alliance held. The Shanghai Triad, finding Seoul impenetrable, redirected their efforts elsewhere. Joon-ho's empire continued to grow, now with Maya's strategic mind guiding expansion into legitimate ventures. Hotels. Tech startups. Real estate development. They were building something new. Something that honored the past while reaching toward a different future. One evening, Joon-ho called Maya into his office. I want to show you something. He pulled up architectural plans. A massive development project. Mixed use. Community center. Affordable housing alongside luxury apartments. It's for the neighborhood where I grew up, Joon-ho explained. The place that made me. I want to give back. Create opportunities. Break the cycle that trapped so many. Maya studied the plans, her heart swelling. This is incredible. I want you to run it. The project. The whole thing. Me? You understand what it means to fight your way up. To be overlooked. To hunger for more. Joon-ho took her hand. You can make sure this project actually helps people. Isn't just a vanity development. This is millions of dollars. Years of work. And I can't think of anyone I trust more. His eyes held hers. Say yes, Maya. Help me build something that matters. Yes, she said without hesitation. Always yes. That night, the family threw a party at one of Joon-ho's clubs. A celebration of survival, of success, of new beginnings. Maya wore red, a dress that made Joon-ho's eyes darken with desire when he saw her. You're stunning, he murmured, pulling her onto the dance floor. You're not so bad yourself. She looped her arms around his neck as they swayed to the music. The club was full of their people. Jiwoo laughing with Taemin. Minjun actually smiling. Daeyoung keeping watch, but even he seemed relaxed. This is what you built, Maya said. Not just an empire. A family. We built it. You're part of this now. Joon-ho's hands tightened on her waist. My partner. In everything. In everything, Maya agreed. Later, when the party wound down, Joon-ho took her back to the penthouse. They stood on the terrace, overlooking the city they'd fought to protect. I have something for you, Joon-ho said. He pulled out a small box. Inside was a key. It's to a property in Jeju, he explained. Private. Secure. Somewhere we can go when the world gets too heavy. Just you and me. Maya's throat tightened. Joon-ho. I know we can't escape this life, but we can have moments. Places that are just ours. He closed her fingers around the key. Say you'll come with me. Build a future with me. Yes, Maya whispered. To all of it. To everything. 3 months passed. The alliance held. The Shanghai Triad, finding Seoul impenetrable, redirected their efforts elsewhere. Joon-ho's empire continued to grow, now with Maya's strategic mind guiding expansion into legitimate ventures. Hotels. Tech startups. Real estate development. They were building something new. Something that honored the past while reaching toward a different future. One evening, Joon-ho called Maya into his office. I want to show you something. He pulled up architectural plans. A massive development project. Mixed use. Community center. Affordable housing alongside luxury apartments. It's for the neighborhood where I grew up, Joon-ho explained. The place that made me. I want to give back. Create opportunities. Break the cycle that trapped so many. Maya studied the plans, her heart swelling. This is incredible. I want you to run it. The project. The whole thing. Me? You understand what it means to fight your way up. To be overlooked. To hunger for more. Joon-ho took her hand. You can make sure this project actually helps people. Isn't just a vanity development. This is millions of dollars. Years of work. And I can't think of anyone I trust more. His eyes held hers. Say yes, Maya. Help me build something that matters. Yes, she said without hesitation. Always yes. 6 months into their relationship, Joon-ho took Maya to Jeju. To the property he'd given her the key to. It was a house on a cliff, overlooking the ocean. Private. Beautiful. Perfect. They spent 3 days there, disconnected from the world. Swimming. Cooking. Talking about everything and nothing. On the last evening, they watched the sunset from the terrace. I never thought I could have this, Joon-ho said quietly. Peace. Happiness. Someone who knows what I am and loves me anyway. You deserve it. All of it. So do you. He turned to her and Maya saw something in his eyes that made her breath catch. Joon-ho got down on one knee. "I'm not good at pretty speeches," he said. "I've built an empire, controlled a city, faced down enemies who wanted me dead. But nothing has ever terrified me like the thought of losing you." Maya's hand flew to her mouth. "You walked into my life broken and angry and somehow you put me back together too. Made me better. Made me want to be better." He pulled out a ring, a simple band with a single perfect diamond. "Maya Sterling, will you marry me? Will you be my partner, my equal, my everything?" Tears streamed down Maya's face. "Yes, yes. 1,000 times yes." Joon-ho slid the ring onto her finger, then stood, pulling her into his arms. They kissed as the sun set over the ocean, painting the sky in gold and fire. "I love you," Maya whispered. "I love you more." They married 3 months later. Not a massive affair. Maya didn't want that. Instead, an intimate ceremony at the Jeju house, with only their closest family. Jiwoo was Maya's maid of honor. Minjun stood as Joon-ho's best man. Mrs. Han cried through the entire ceremony. Maya wore a simple white dress. Joon-ho wore a traditional Korean hanbok. The contrast was beautiful, old and new, tradition and modernity, everything they were together. "I promise to protect you," Joon-ho said during his vows. "To cherish you. To build a life with you that honors both our pasts and reaches toward our future. You are my heart, Maya. The best part of me." Maya's voice shook with emotion. "I promise to stand beside you. To be your partner in all things. To love you not despite your darkness but because of everything you are. You saved me, Joon-ho. And I will spend my life saving you right back." When they kissed, the small group erupted in cheers. "Mrs. Kang," Joon-ho murmured against her lips. "Mine forever." "Yours forever," Maya agreed. They spent 2 weeks in Europe, Paris, Rome, Barcelona. Places Joon-ho had never taken time to see, too busy building his empire. Now with Maya he could breathe. Could be just a man in love, not a boss, not a leader. Just Joon-ho. In Paris they danced in the rain. In Rome they got lost in ancient streets. In Barcelona, they watched the sunrise from their hotel balcony, wrapped in each other's arms. "Thank you," Joon-ho said one morning. "For what?" "For seeing me. The real me. Not the reputation. Not the power. Just me." Maya turned in his arms. "That's who I fell in love with. The man who holds doors open for Mrs. Han. Who donates millions to children's hospitals. Who dreams of rebuilding the neighborhood that made him." She kissed him softly. "The empire is impressive. But the man behind it is extraordinary." Returning to Seoul felt different now. Maya wasn't just Joon-ho's analyst anymore. She was his wife. His partner. His equal. The community development project was underway. Maya threw herself into it, working with architects, community leaders, local residents. Making sure every decision reflected actual needs, not assumptions. Joon-ho watched her work with pride. She was brilliant. Fierce. Exactly what the project needed. "You're amazing," he told her one night. They were in bed, her head on his chest, his fingers running through her hair. "I'm just doing what you taught me," Maya said. "Using power to create change." "No. You're doing what you've always done, caring about people. Fighting for them. I just gave you a bigger platform." Maya propped herself up, looking down at him. "We make a good team. The best team." Joon-ho pulled her down for a kiss. "I love you, Mrs. Kang." "I love you too, Mr. Kang." 6 months after their wedding, Maya discovered something that changed everything. She was pregnant. The news terrified her. This life, the danger, the violence, the constant threat, was no place to raise a child. But when she told Joon-ho, his reaction surprised her. He dropped to his knees, pressing his face against her still flat stomach. "A baby," he whispered. "Our baby. Are you okay with this?" Maya asked nervously. Joon-ho looked up and his eyes were wet. "I never thought I'd have this. A family. A real family." He stood, pulling her close. "We'll make it work, Maya. We'll build something safe for our child. I promise you. But your work. I'll change it. We'll accelerate the move toward legitimate business. Phase out the gray areas. I want our child to be proud of what I do." He cupped her face. "You've already changed me in so many ways. Let me do this. For you. For our baby." Maya's tears fell freely. "You do that? Change everything?" "I'd do anything for you. For our family." Joon-ho kissed her forehead. "This is what I've been working toward all along. You just gave me the final reason to see it through." The next year was transformative. Joon-ho systematically restructured his organization. Illegal operations were shut down or transferred to trusted associates outside his immediate control. Revenue streams shifted toward legitimate enterprises. It wasn't easy. Some of the old guard resisted. But Min-jun supported his brother, and together they pushed the changes through. The community development project opened to acclaim. Affordable housing for families who needed it. Job training programs. Community centers. Everything Maya had envisioned brought to life. And through it all, Maya's pregnancy progressed. She glowed. Joon-ho was attentive to the point of being overprotective, but she forgave him. He'd lost so much in his life. This fear was understandable. Ji-woo threw her a baby shower. Mrs. Han knitted endless tiny clothes. Even Dae-young softened, talking about being the baby's godfather. They were building something beautiful. A family. A future. A life beyond the shadows. Maya went into labor on a Tuesday evening. Joon-ho was in a meeting, his last major negotiation to finalize the transition of his remaining gray market operations. Mrs. Han called him. "Sir, it's time." Joon-ho left immediately. Screw the meeting. Screw the deal. Nothing mattered except Maya. He arrived at the hospital to find her in labor, breathing through contractions. She smiled when she saw him. "You made it. Nothing could keep me away." He took her hand, kissing it. "How are you?" "Terrified. Excited. Ready to meet our baby." 12 hours later, their daughter was born. She was perfect. Tiny. Beautiful. Dark hair like her father. Eyes like her mother. "She's perfect," Joon-ho whispered, cradling his daughter for the first time. Tears streamed down his face. "Maya, she's perfect. What should we name her?" Maya asked. They discussed names for months but never decided. Joon-ho looked at his daughter, then at his wife. "Sujin. It means perfect truth." Maya's throat tightened. "Sujin. I love it." "Welcome to the world, Sujin," Joon-ho murmured. "Your parents love you more than anything. And we promise to give you a life full of light, not shadows." 3 years passed. Joon-ho's transformation was complete. He was now known primarily as a legitimate businessman and philanthropist. His past was still there, whispered about but never proven, never prosecuted. The community development had sparked similar projects across Seoul. Maya had become an influential voice in urban planning and social justice. Sujin was 3 years old. Bright. Curious. Beloved by everyone who met her. They still lived in the penthouse, but they also spent time at the Jeju house. Building memories as a family. One evening, Maya found Joon-ho on the terrace, watching the sunset. "What are you thinking about?" she asked, wrapping her arms around him from behind. "How far we've come. How much has changed." He turned, pulling her close. "Do you remember that day? When I found you on the sidewalk, fired and broken? How could I forget? You changed my life. We changed each other's lives." Joon-ho kissed her softly. "I was empty before you. Going through the motions. Building an empire for reasons I couldn't even remember. And now I have everything that matters. Sujin. A purpose beyond power." He looked into her eyes. "You saved me, Maya. In every way a person can be saved." Maya's eyes filled with tears. "You saved me first. Then I guess we're even." 6 months later, Joon-ho called a final meeting of the old family. Ji-woo, Min-jun, Dae-young, Taemin, Eunicio. The people who'd been with him from the beginning. "I'm stepping back," he announced. "From active leadership. Min-jun will take over operations. I'm transitioning to an advisory role." Shocked silence. "Hyung," Min-jun said carefully. "Are you sure?" "I'm sure. I've spent 20 years building this. Now I want to spend the next 20 being a husband. A father. Maybe even writing that memoir Maya keeps suggesting." Ji-woo smiled. "You've earned it, boss. We all have." Joon-ho looked around the table. "We survived. Built something that mattered. Changed the landscape. But it's time for the next generation to lead." Later, Maya found him in his office, packing up personal items. "Any regrets?" she asked. "Not a single one." He pulled her onto his lap. "I got everything I wanted. Everything I didn't even know I wanted." "What did you want?" "You. From the moment I saw you, destroyed but still standing, I knew. You were going to change everything." Joon-ho kissed her deeply. "And you did. You changed me. Saved me. Gave me a reason to be better." "We saved each other," Maya said firmly. "That's what love does." "Then I'm the luckiest man alive." 5 years later. Maya stood in front of a room full of young women. They were part of a mentorship program she'd started, helping women from difficult backgrounds find careers in business. I know what it's like to feel powerless, she told them. To be fired in front of everyone. To lose everything. But I also know what it's like to rise from the ashes. To take control of your narrative. To build something extraordinary from nothing. The women listened raptly. You all have that power, Maya continued. The power to choose your path. To define your worth. To refuse to let anyone diminish you. After the session, she drove to Sujin's school. Her daughter ran out, backpack bouncing, dark hair flying. Yama. She threw herself into Maya's arms. Hi baby. How was school? Good. I drew you a picture. Want to see? At home, Joon-ho was making dinner. He'd become an excellent cook over the years. Retirement suited him. How were the girls? He asked, kissing Maya. Inspired. Ready to take on the world. Like their teacher. They ate dinner as a family. Sujin chattering about her day. Plans for the weekend. The new puppy they were considering adopting. Was normal. Beautiful. Everything Maya had never known she wanted. That night, after Sujin was asleep, Maya and Joon-ho sat on the terrace. Do you ever miss it? Maya asked. The power. The empire. Joon-ho was quiet for a moment. Sometimes I miss the clarity. The simplicity of knowing exactly who I was and what I wanted. He pulled her close. But then I look at this, at you, at Sujin, at the life we've built, and I know I made the right choice. No regrets. Only one. He turned her face toward his. That I didn't find you sooner. Maya kissed him, slow and deep. We found each other exactly when we were supposed to. Maybe you're right. They sat in comfortable silence, watching the city lights. Thank you, Maya whispered. For what? For seeing me. That day on the sidewalk. For claiming me. For giving me a life beyond my wildest dreams. Maya, you gave me everything. Joon-ho's voice was thick with emotion. I was just a man building walls. You showed me how to build bridges instead. We built them together. Together, he agreed. Always together. Maya Sterling walked into Kang Joon-ho's life broken and humiliated. She walked out transformed, not because he saved her but because he saw her. Really saw her. And in that seeing, in that claiming, they both found something they'd been searching for all along. Oh. Sometimes the end of everything is just the beginning of something extraordinary. Sometimes being fired in front of everyone is the universe pushing you toward your destiny. And sometimes the Mafia boss who claims you is exactly what you need to claim yourself. Welcome to the Forbidden Empire. Where humiliation becomes protection. Where darkness finds light. And where broken souls find their way home. Thank you for watching this journey with us. If you loved Maya and Joon-ho's story, hit that like button, subscribe for more dark Mafia romance, and drop a comment telling us your favorite moment. Should we continue their story? Would you like to see what happens with Min-joon or Ji-woo, or even young Sujin when she grows up? Let us know. Remember, in the Forbidden Empire, every humiliation is just the beginning of something greater. Every ending is a new start. And every claim is a promise of protection. Until next time, this is Forbidden Empire, reminding you that you are worth claiming, worth protecting, worth everything. See you in the next story.